Afternoon VC. So I didn't have any plans this weekend, especially as far as record digging was concerned. But I saw a video earlier this week from Art, who hung out with us when Carlson was in town. He's NC Vinyl Pickers, the channel. He's got a lot in common with Bill from the Vinylverse as far as musical tastes are concerned. But he was talking about, okay, I'm coming into town and I'm going to go to the record convention, and we have it once every quarter here at the hotel in Ballantyne area, and asked that we get up, hang out, as far as anybody in the vinyl community. So I said, all right, man, I'll stroll out there and see what I can look at. I kept myself to a budget because of it, what's coming up, but I found just a couple records, and we both made out pretty good. Had a nice lunch across the street at Hickory Tavern. Had some pretty killer steak tacos. And yeah, it was a good day. And the usual suspects are at this convention. Greg, and then this guy Mike. He's out of Seneca, South Carolina. He has the best and rarest stuff, and he's the man. His prices are good, and he makes deals with you, and he throws in a freebie usually when you buy something from him. You usually get a free 7-inch. So very cool. I got just two records that are inbound recently, and I hadn't planned on those either. But what record was it that turned up? The Milford Graves with Don Pullen live at Yale University turned up on the internet, and when that happens, alarm bells go off and everybody gets in touch with me, and here we go, and I watch it in dismay as it goes for $6,100. Nothing I'm ever going to really be able to touch, but it turned out to be the same copy that sold last year. Obviously someone didn't pay up. It was on Carolina Soul, and so we know whose records those are, and so I looked to see what else was there, and there's a couple that I was interested in. I wanted to bid on the McPhee, but it got over $400. That was not going to happen. I ended up getting just two records from that auction. One that I've been looking for years, for exactly what it goes for online for a similar copy, so I was happy with that. Egwu Onwu, Sun Song, from Joseph Jarman and Famadou Don Moye in concert. This is live on Indian Navigation from 1978. It's a double. Really nicely presented, really sturdy gatefold on the great Indian Navigation label, heavy duty vinyl. And these are in perfect condition. Fantastic stuff from the Art Ensemble of Chicago. Any of the side project stuff, or the later solo stuff, I seek out, and this was a big one. So yeah, and it wasn't expensive at all, under 40 for a double. And then this was $8. Archie Shepp and Marzette Watts, Paul Bley, Bill Dixon, Bob Posar, or Robert Posar, New Music Second Wave. It's a double comp on Savoy from 1979. And I was surprised how much I really enjoyed the Archie Shepp part of this. Some of his stuff can get even a little bit too out there for me. These were mint records. These sound incredible. It's kind of this thin late 70s vinyl, but very happy to get this. There's a lot of music on here that's very difficult to get originals of. So side one is Archie Shepp with John Chakai on alto, Ted Curson on trumpet, Don Cherry on trumpet, Ronnie Boykins bass, and Sonny Murray drums. What a fucking lineup that is. Side two is the Bill Dixon stuff with featuring Ken McIntyre, Side 3 starts out with some Marzette Watts on tenor, Bill Dixon on piano. Junie Booth appears on vocal. You get into the side 3, and you have some of the Cleve Posar stuff. Great percussionist, drummer. And then the rest is pretty much the Paul Bley driven stuff on side 4, featuring John Gilmore from Sun Ra. So a lot of great stuff on this, mostly from the early 60s to up to 64. So really the beginnings of this movement, more towards the free end of things, coming out of the hard bop scene. Really enjoyed this. A great comp for $8. So that's it. That was it for new records. And like I said, I hadn't planned to go to the convention today. I was going to skip it. This would have been the second one in a row that I had skipped. Maybe 3 in a row that I'd skipped. But you know, it was cool that Art wanted to get up, so I went out there, and I got there super early. The convention opens at 10. I was there at 8:45, and I was already digging. Because usually Greg's set up, and Mike is usually getting close to being ready to go by 9, and it's pretty much dealer hour, and so, you know, your heavy hitters are there, and that's when you can find the best stuff, because, you know, they just got set up. So that's what I try to do, is get up there early. And then Art came along. He has a long drive out there. It takes him probably an hour and a half or so. He's north of Hickory, so he got there closer to open. But he made out pretty good too, and spent his allotment on the day. Let's see. So the first thing I found from Greg was this. I was just trying to look at 7 inches for a while, because there's a couple of vendors with good rare 7 inches, and I found this one on ABC Records. John Lee Hooker promo, doing the shout on the one side, and Kick Hit for Hit Kicks You on the B side. So a nice blues single. Both of these are from the album Endless Boogie, which I've never been able to find a copy of. And the one song is Blues for Jimmy and Janis, so for Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin, which is really fucking cool. So that's a really cool promo 7-inch from John Lee Hooker. I was happy to find that. So that's all I got from the one vendor. And then Mike had great stuff, and this was the first record that I found from him. Ralph and Florian, Kraftwerk, on the Vertigo label. An original copy is this, and this is the mispress. I can't remember what year is this from. Probably 1975, something like that. Anyway, we'll show you the labels, because instead of saying Ralph and Florian, it says Croft and Florian, and I think that's what the misprint is, or whatever. I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure exactly what the deal is with it, but it's in really great shape and was a really good price, so I grabbed that. It was half the price of another copy I saw at the same convention last year. So I was like, half the price? Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I guess this one's kind of getting a little more difficult to come across. In decent shape. The record's in nice shape. Jacket, not so much, but I can live with a little bit of creasing and whatnot on the jacket, especially for the deal I got on it. And then this was in the blues section that Mike had, an original copy of Junior Wells' Southside Blues Jam, featuring Otis Spann, Buddy Guy, and Louis Myers on the Delmark label. This is a really nice copy. I think John might have picked this up recently too, Digital Gramophone. I can't remember. I think maybe even on the dig with Carlson. It's on this white Delmark label. Should be the early label of that. These need a clean, which I'll need to do later today. So I was happy to find that. This should be freaking great with Buddy Guy on guitar, Junior Wells on harmonica, singing on this. Should be a top-notch blues affair right there. And then this was one of 2 records I was specifically looking for at the convention. I didn't find the other, but I did find this one. Peter Green, The End of the Game on Reprise. This happens to be an original promo copy, and was a good deal because the sticker's a little bit torn and has some ring wear. So I was stoked to find this record. I was going to buy whatever copy I could find, but to find a OG promo was pretty fucking cool, with the original insert still intact in perfect shape. And this record looks hardly played. It's in beautiful condition. There's your white label. That was probably my favorite find of the day. Some great guitar on this. I'm a guitar guy, and I've listened to this a bunch of times on YouTube. And I almost bought a copy from Permanent. They had a mid-80s Euro version that says something classic rock on it or something like that. But I'm glad I held out and got this copy. And then one other vendor, let me show you this. I got this for free from Mike for getting those records. He lets you take a 7-inch, and I got a white label promo of Ike and Tina Turner, The Hunter, which is a really great cut. John 6-inch pianist had played that in one of his videos not too long ago, and I made note of it. It's a badass tune. So there's this on Blue Thumb, and I'm not sure the year, but it's a promo. Very cool. Pick that up. Rest in peace, Tina. And then last but not least, there were 2 of these records that came out at the same time. They're bootlegs, and I have the other one, and I ended up actually getting it shipped to me from Jazz Record Center in New York City. It was an interesting deal on getting it. They're old school, and I had to get my card number over the phone. But I ended up getting it. But I was hoping to get both, and they only had the one, and this one had sold out. And here it was in a bin, and I got $5 off on it too from the vendor. The new Tony Williams Lifetime featuring Alan Holdsworth live at the Village Gate. 180 gram vinyl live gig from I can't remember what years. Probably, I don't know, not 100% on the year. But Tony Williams drums, Alan Holdsworth guitars, Tony Newton bass, and Alan Pasqua on keyboards. This should be freaking killer. So I was stoked to find that. Something I didn't think I'd ever get because you can't sell it online because it's a boot. At least on Discogs. Yeah, it's a broadcast on WRVR FM in New York, but it doesn't say the year. And that's it. That's what I got from the convention today. I hope you're all well. Peace.